Regulations. SABC News spoke to him earlier while he was at a roadblock with JMPD and SABC. Several arrests have been made and the mayor says they will continue to work hard to make sure people follow the rules.
Remember, just a couple of days ago, we saw the President of the Republic telling us that there's going to be an extension of the lockdown of South Africa, and the emphasis, Desiree, as we've been telling people at home and everyone, all broadcasts we do as well, stay at home. Only go out if you really have to, in case of an emergency, in cases to go buy essentials such as food. Well, we joined a roadblock manned by the Johannesburg Metro Police Department as well as, double forces. There's also the South African Police Services at this particular roadblock in Diepsloot. This, of course, being in the corner of the R55 and R62. And since we've arrived here, Desiree, there's already been an arrest. We saw a vehicle approach this very roadblock, and just before the police officers stopped it, it did a U-turn about 500 or 400 meters away, and there was a chase that ensued. The cops went all the way down the road. They retrieved the driver and the vehicle, brought him all the way back to this particular roadblock, and he was arrested. And when he was asked, and we've been hearing these excuses in and out, why are you on the street? He said he was charging his battery, and the cops are saying, but charging a battery, what has that got to do with being on the street? So they are taking the lockdown seriously, are the police officers. The mayor of Johannesburg is not here as yet, but we're expecting him to be here.
Well, that's Thabiso. They're reporting for us from a roadblock on the roads in the city of Johannesburg, where he was joined by the executive mayor of Johannesburg, Mr. Jeff Makubo. Now, the legendary Xitsonga music icon Samson Mtombeni has been laid to rest at Nwashinyameni village outside Louis-Trichardt in Limpopo. Mtombeni passed on after a long illness last Sunday. He was aged 74. He's regarded as the first artist to record a music album in the early 70s. He's also performed in the UK and France during his career. The late Mtombeni has been lauded for his contribution to the development of Xitsonga and Shishangana language through his music. Some mourners say they will remember him for his fashion style, that of wearing a doek and a cloth mainly worn by women. Meanwhile, police kept an eye on the number of mourners to ensure that the lockdown regulations were not flouted. May he rest in peace. We now cross live to Dobsonville in Soweto, where our colleague Nhlanhla Kgatlana is monitoring lockdown compliance levels in the Johannesburg township. Nhlanhla, a very good morning to you. What's happening where you are?
Well, good morning, Desiree. Coming to you right here from Dobsonville. Quite interesting. Since our arrival here, we have seen, people dwelling around the street, just doing, going up and down the street, interacting with each other as if it's just a normal, day, a normal time. And one thing that we've also noted is that, since our arrival here, and we have driven, around Dobsonville, a couple of streets actually, we have not seen even one police car, which is monitoring this lockdown, or the extension rather. And we interacted with a couple of people here, others did not want to appear on TV for obvious reasons, and they said to us that some of them say they're trying to make a living. I mean, it's hard for them not to comply. As you can see there, it's just a normal day here in Dobsonville. We saw a couple of kids playing soccer. The street that we're going to turn on now, you can see there are a lot of people, just people sitting around. You can see there's a lady who's selling there. Those gentlemen right there, they've been sitting there for the past 30-45 minutes since our arrival here. We've traveled this street quite often since our arrival, just to check if people are complying. And we spoke to a couple of them. There's a gentleman who told us that it's very hard to be indoors. Because at the end of the day, they must provide for their family. But I guess it goes back to, what measures need to be put in place. I mean, when we try to assess if the regulations here would be enforced, just for a lack of a better word. You can tell that, these people, some of them don't really, didn't get the message. Then the question arises in terms of if government, national government, it is talking or the message does infiltrate, what measures has government do to ensure that the message infiltrates to the people on the ground, with regards to, participatory communication using municipalities to ensure that people adhere to the regulations, after the extension. So from our side, since we've been here, it has been just a normal day, people interacting with each other, hugging, talking, playing soccer. Yeah, as you can see that, in front of us there, earlier when we passed, a couple of youngsters were literally playing soccer. One of them scored a goal and they just hugged. Desiree?
Dantla, thank you so much for that update. It's almost like a sample really of what's happening in the different townships around the country. Let us know what's happening where you are at the agenda_SABC or at Desiree Chauke. You're watching the